In California, the parents of 16-year-old Adam Rain have filed a wrongful death lawsuit against OpenAI and its CEO Sam Altman. They claim that ChatGPT actively contributed to their son's death by providing harmful guidance, including detailed methods of self-harm and even help drafting suicide notes. The lawsuit also says the AI minimized Adam's emotional distress, sometimes reacting neutrally to images of a noose. OpenAI has expressed sorrow, admitted that safety systems can degrade during long conversations, and promised to strengthen safeguards. In response to the California lawsuit over a teen's suicide, OpenAI announced plans to significantly enhance ChatGPT's safety features. The measures include stronger content filters, improved detection of emotional crises, and the introduction of parental controls, aiming to prevent similar tragedies in the future. Elon Musk's artificial intelligence company xAI, together with his social platform X, has filed an antitrust lawsuit against Apple and OpenAI in federal court. The case argues that Apple's integration of ChatGPT into the iPhone unfairly locks out competitors such as xAI's own chatbot called Grok. The lawsuit seeks billions of dollars in damages and accuses Apple and OpenAI of monopolistic practices that reduce consumer choice. Apple responded that its deal with OpenAI is not exclusive, while OpenAI dismissed the lawsuit as another example of Musk's ongoing battles with the company. But disagreements remain over Microsoft's exclusive hosting rights, access to OpenAI's intellectual property, and an AGI clause that could change the partnership if artificial general intelligence is achieved. The delay could affect the conditional $10 billion investment from SoftBank and slow OpenAI's push for a valuation in the hundreds of billions. Nvidia has just reported stellar second quarter results, generating $46.7 billion in revenue, marking a 56% year-over-year increase driven by surging demand for AI-focused chips and data center technology. Despite the impressive figures, shares dipped afterward as investors weighed geopolitical risks, particularly uncertainties around chip sales to China. Management forecasted even stronger performance, tweaking expectations for the upcoming quarter upward, but notably left out any assumptions for H20 chip shipments to China, reflecting cautious planning amid regulatory tension. Nvidia's results created ripple effects across the markets. Stocks had rallied to a new S&P 500 record high on the anticipation of Nvidia's performance, but the subsequent outlook prompted a market recalibration. The company also unveiled a $60 billion share buyback authorization, signaling confidence in its long-term strategy while seeking to return value to shareholders. Nvidia has reported $46.7 billion in second quarter revenue, up 6% sequentially and 56% year-over-year, driven by a record-breaking $41.1 billion in data center sales fueled by demand for AI infrastructure. Despite these strong results, investor confidence wavered. Shares slipped as the company delivered a cautiously optimistic outlook, notably excluding any forecasted shipments of its H20 AI chips to China. Nvidia also unveiled a $60 billion share repurchase authorization, signaling confidence in its long-term strategy and a commitment to return value to shareholders. CNA plus 14 Nvidia Newsroom plus 14 TradingView plus 14 Watch plus 9 Reuters. 9 Reuters plus 9 Reuters. 9. The broader markets had initially rallied, with the S&P 500 hitting a record high ahead of Nvidia's earnings release, highlighting how central the AI boom, and Nvidia in particular, have become to overall market sentiment. Yet, the cautious forecast sparked a market recalibration as investors weighed the company's future growth without a clear path to China sales. Reuters plus 1. Nvidia's guidance for the third quarter set revenue at $54 billion, plus or minus 2%, surpassing Wall Street estimates. However, the forecast assumes no H20 chip sales to China, leaving meaningful upside on the table if geopolitical or regulatory conditions shift, potentially unlocking $2 to $5 billion in additional sales. Despite these headwinds, analysts remain bullish, pointing to Nvidia's dominant position in AI hardware, its expanding sovereign AI initiatives, and resilient profit margins as signs the company remains indispensable to the cloud and enterprise AI boom. MarketWatch ports 30, Reuters ports 30 Investing.com plus 30. Nvidia is expected to report earnings that could significantly move the market, with analysts estimating a potential $260 billion swing in market value based on its performance. U.S. indexes were mixed as investors awaited the results. Nvidia slipped 1%, and broader tech sectors dipped amid valuation concerns and debates over whether the AI boom has created a tech bubble. Tensions over China exposure and Nvidia's new revenue-sharing agreement with the U.S. government are also drawing close scrutiny. Reuters for the third quarter, Nvidia projects revenue of $54 billion, beating Wall Street estimates of 53.1 billion. Despite the optimistic forecast, its stock fell 2.4% in after-hours trading. Investors are cautious, citing signs of easing growth in data center demand and geopolitical risks, especially related to China. Still, analysts emphasize Nvidia's 73.5% gross margin guidance, reinforcing confidence in the company's fundamentals and its central role in fueling AI infrastructure investment. Reuters. Despite ongoing U.S.-China trade tensions clouding Nvidia's outlook, the company continues to perform strongly, reporting $46.74 billion in second quarter revenue and authorizing an additional $60 billion in share buybacks. The third quarter forecast assumes no H20 chip shipments to China, but if barriers ease, future sales could add an estimated $2 to $5 billion in upside. Meanwhile, Nvidia's investments in AI infrastructure, especially sovereign AI projects, are expected to drive future growth as global AI infrastructure spending could reach $3.4 trillion by 2030. Reuters FieldAI, a robotics startup based in Irvine, California, has raised $405 million in funding across two recent rounds, including backing from Nvidia's venture arm and Jeff Bezos' family office. The company, valued at around $2 billion, is developing what it calls foundational embodied AI models, or universal robot brains, that enable humanoids, quadrupeds, autonomous vehicles, and other robots to adapt safely to new environments and tasks. WashingtonPost.com/, InterestingEngineering.com+, Myco.org, Robomart, the Los Angeles startup redefining delivery, has unveiled its RM5 autonomous delivery vehicle, a shuttle bus-sized, fully electric robot with 10 climate E-controlled lockers and a 1121-mile range capable of delivering items from multiple stores in one trip. Customers pay a flat $3 delivery fee, no markups, no tips, and retrieve orders by unlocking a compartment using the app. Robomart claims this setup could cut delivery costs by up to 70% compared to human couriers. TechInAsia.com plus TheVerge.com plus TheVerge.com plus InsideEvs.com. OMSOC and Anthropic has launched a National Security and Public Sector Advisory Council to guide its collaboration with U.S. government initiatives and ensure responsible AI development in sensitive domains. The council features former lawmakers, intelligence officials, and national security experts, including Roy Blunt and David S. Cohen, and will advise on AI applications in sectors like cybersecurity, intelligence, and scientific research. This follows Anthropic landing a $200 million Pentagon agreement to build defense-oriented AI tools. Readers.com plus 222-12221-2225.state.gov, Nvidia earnings and market reaction. Nvidia reported Q2 revenue of $46.7 billion, up 56% year over year, driven by record AI data center sales. Despite strong results, the stock fell as the company issued cautious guidance, excluding sales of its H20 chips to China due to regulatory tension. Analysts noted that future upside could reach $5 billion if barriers ease. Nvidia also announced a $60 billion share buyback, underscoring confidence in its long-term dominance in AI hardware. Source: Reuters. Nvidia. China is aggressively scaling its AI chip production, aiming to triple output within the next year by launching 3 new fabrication plants dedicated to generating AI processors, especially Huawei's versions. Leading domestic player SMIC plans to double its 7nm chip production, with Huawei among its top customers, while companies like DeepSeek are spearheading FP8-based chip designs, less precise but more efficient, helping bypass U.S. export limits. Chinese firms are also pursuing memory chip autonomy, with CXMT testing HBM3 modules for a 2026 launch, as Beijing furthers efforts to build a self-sustaining domestic semiconductor ecosystem capable of rivaling Nvidia's dominance. TechCrunch, Financial Times, plus Wikipedia. A new player, OpenMind, has raised $20 million to develop Fabric, a universal communication protocol that lets humanoid robots securely share context and identity, essentially a nervous system for collaborative machines. Their AI-native operating system, OM1, is hardware agnostic and aims to serve as an Android equivalent platform for robotics, enabling machines from different makers to learn and collaborate seamlessly in dynamic environments. Interesting engineering. China's space startup, Space Pioneer, is on track to launch its next reusable orbital rocket, Tianlong A3, later this year following the success of its Tianlong A2 vehicle in 2023, which achieved orbit on its maiden launch. With ambitions to support both China's national satellite internet and Tiangong space station initiatives, The company is positioning itself to deliver low-cost commercial space access via its kerosene-fueled, reusable orbital rockets.